It takes more than pettily breaking up your pull request into single character commits to be a great software engineer. This is episode 323 of the Soft Skills Engineering Podcast. I'm your host, Jamison Dance.
I'm your host, Dave Smith.
Soft Skills Engineering is a weekly advice show where we talk about all the non-technical things about the technical field of software development, and sometimes do not respond healthily when people ask us to break up our pull requests into atomic commits.
I'm trying to think of the corollary to a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And it's like the journey of the world's greatest pull request starts with 1,000 commits, one character at a time.
Yeah. If you want to really be able to review each individual commit and get the gist of it, understand exactly what's going on in each commit, have them build up to a coherent final thing, done.
Yep.
Just like I read my books, one letter at a time.
One letter, yeah. This is what they mean by agile. Like, I could change my mind, but only between characters.
What if I want to put a T next?
You can.
Now I have that freedom.
You are agile enough to do that. Finally.
Oh, well, do you want to thank our patrons, Dave?
I do. I want to say thank you to those that are contributing at the level where they get a weekly shout-out. They are Kent C. Dodds, Theodore Saban, Memester Josh, Jenny Kim, Owen Chartle, Craig Motlin, I Love Mavis, The Stochastic Parrot, Alice Jost, Andrew Pollock, No Cheating, here goes again, Lanfuer, Plingling, Gogoragin, blah, 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 go, Coshocton, Ohio, patreon.com.au, we're hiring Ira Chan, Monkeyface Emoji, Jonathan King, testingisdocumenting.org, Ola Dapafadi, Will Angel, who does not have the stinky feet, Then, who has stinky feet, Nick Hathaway, Travis Sanders, Braden Keynes, John Grant, Nick Cantor, and Philip John Basile. If you would like to join this crew and have us say, or try to say, anything you can type that is safe for work, then go to softskills.audio and click the Support Us on Patreon button. And any dollar amount you contribute will get you access to our Slack community where you can discuss all kinds of interesting things. And if you contribute enough, we will say whatever you want right now.
We'll try.
Yeah, we'll try to say whatever you want.
We will exercise judgment as well. The amount of judgment we will exercise is in proportion to how much you donate, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
As is traditional. I wonder if, I was just thinking, what if you pronounce the name of that town correctly, and then you just hear like a ding noise, like unlocks some secret of the universe?
When you're walking through the town, you say it right? Is that what you're saying? It's like a portal.
Yeah. I've been reading Harry Potter to my kids recently. Maybe this is magic. We'll find out eventually if we...
I may never find out, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's really challenging to say that. And I try to say hard things in other languages.
I just give up.
That one, man, it's elusive.
I look at the first and last letter and just fill in the gaps in between.
With just guttural noises.
Yeah, I just kind of freestyle. I'm going to read our first question.
Okay, let's do it.
This is from an anonymous listener who says, I'm planning to leave my job purely because of low compensation. I like my growth in my current company, but lower compensation than what the market is offering is quite a mental hiccup in my regular work. Yep, I'm slowly becoming one of the quiet quitters. I'm thinking of going to my manager with my new offer and asking them to match it. Do retention offers actually work? As managers yourselves, how would you want me to approach a retention discussion? I don't want my manager to make my life hell under the pretense of, they'll leave in a year if I do decide to stay, after taking the matching offer. Love the show, pretty much my single source of wisdom for all my behavioral interviews.
Oh, behavioral interviews. I guess you're welcome.
Can't fathom the madness that would ensue if you used our show as the single source of wisdom for behavioral interviews.
It's like just sampling the behaviors we read about here, or that we hear about here, and then use those in your behavioral responses.
Well, that's a good point. I assumed that it was the answers, but what if you're using the questions too?
Yeah.
And the questions are like, how do I handle this horrible coworker? And then you forget the how do I handle this part and just remember, someone did this thing.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Someone stuck their stinky feet under the desk.
Right.
And so that's how I would improve collaboration.
Okay, so we got a quiet quitter here who's dissatisfied with pay, but curious if they could actually shop a offer and get a counteroffer and stay and not have it be a mess.
I have seen this work both ways. Well, how many ways are there? There's get a counteroffer and not get a counteroffer, and there's also stay and go.
Okay. I'm doing the combinatorics here.
Yeah, which
if four
my
ways.
mental math is right, that's 4 ways.
Careful. We're about to go exponential, so just be careful.
That's true, because there's also what the company does if you give them the counter offer.
Oh, good. But you trimmed the decision tree down a little bit because it's only after you give a counteroffer.
Yeah, that's true. So it's not 3 full bits.
Okay.
We gotta get out of here.
2.5 bits of combinatorics.
Yeah, 2.5 bits. Have you heard of fractional binary computers?
No. Is this real?
I mean, no, we just made it up.
Oh, got it.
It's
right.
probably real. Someone probably has their PhD in
hold
this.
on. I'm submitting the patent application right now. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
All right, done.
Cool. I admire how you were able to submit it without us talking about what this is.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not necessary.
Okay, anyways, I've seen people get counters, bring them back to the company, and have the company increase their compensation and also not increase their compensation. And I've seen people both stay and go in both those cases, actually. I've seen people who left even if they got a counter. So the combinatorial possibilities say that it's possible to get an offer. The bits work out.
Oh, I mean, getting the counteroffer is absolutely doable. I see it all the time.
And then getting the pay bump and staying, those bits work out too.
Well, that's where I think the big question is. I mean, I'll tell you, if you ever want to see HR move fast, it's go get an offer, bring it back to your manager, and just that raise you've been asking them for months and that they've just been like, wringing their hands and agonizing. It's like, boom, here it is on the table right there. I've seen it in my own life. I've been on the other side of the table from that. So that part, absolutely doable. In fact, it's probably the fastest way to get a raise is to go shop an offer and bring it back to your current company. But what happens after that, I think, is the real question.
I mean, there is the chance that they say no to, but you're saying skip over that. Assume they say yes.
Yeah, because I gotta say, if you're a good, okay, well, let me back up. I have seen one instance where somebody shopped for job offers, got some offers, brought them back, and I was in a management position at the time, and when the offers came back, actually my boss and I had been contemplating letting this person go for performance concerns for a while. And so the offers actually came to my boss, and my boss sat down with the individual and said, "Hey, you should probably take that job." You know, it was kind of like a little, like a professional nod, like, look, you know, just, you know, you might want to go take that. And it was like, oh, okay. And so that is an outcome that could happen. So be prepared for that one, I guess.
Yeah. I've also seen a case where the numbers that they were comparing were not the same, where the company was thinking of it as total compensation.
Yeah.
And the employee was thinking of it as like cash compensation, and so they kind of had different definitions of like how strong the offer was, and so the company looked at the offer and said, we would be happy to pay you less money if you wanted less money.
That's like worst case scenario. Oh, it appears that the market suggests we're overpaying you.
Yeah, okay, so we'll drop your options.
Listen, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I have a counteroffer that's perfect for both of us. Tell you what, we'll meet you in the middle.
There's also I see this especially at startups. If you go to a FANG company, a giant megatech corp, and get a really strong offer from them, most likely your startup will not pay that same scale. So you will not be able to say, look at this offer I got from Google or whatever for so many bajillions of dollars, and please give me that. They'll say, we would love to, and we cannot, because that will tank our burn rate. Mm-hmm. And they'll probably be right. So you do have to have some judgment of like, there's not just this magic key that unlocks extra money forever from every situation. That's
right. There's no, right, like you said, there's no key that can turn your company into Google. So, like, there is a cap, and you need to be aware of that. So like, okay, so those are all the ways that it can go wrong. But what if the company does come back with a counteroffer that does meet the other offer, and you're like, hey, I would take this? What happens like 6 months from now, one year from now?
I want to stick one more step in there, which is that you bringing an offer to the company, they could counter at a number that is between what you currently make and what that offer is as well. Like they don't have to say, like, this can be part of a negotiation, not a ransom that they have to pay to
That's
keep
right.
you, right? Like,
That's
meet
right.
this or else.
A ransom.
And so part of what you need to figure out is, do I want this many dollars? do I want more? And if so, what would I be willing to accept to stay here if they're not willing to pay that much, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, assuming that's all done, you both arrive at a number that both of you say yes to. Yes, I will stay. Yes, we'll pay you that much.
So the question was, as managers yourselves, how would you want me to approach a retention discussion? And I kind of have a recipe for this, but historically, I have not used competing offers to get a raise at work. Like once I decide to leave, I typically will go get the offer from another company and just go with it. But if someone came to me, and several have, who said, I do have a competing offer, I think it depends. The way that I want you to approach it and the way that I will respond depend on one important factor, which is, are you already paid equitably for your role at my company? Like, do I sense that you're already well paid? Like, if you're severely underpaid and I'm working on bringing you up, but I'm just not going fast enough, and you come with a competing offer, it's actually a super easy situation, and it really arms me with all the data points I need to come back to my leadership to get approval for a raise, right? Like you say, hey, I got a competing offer. It's like, all right, I can go to my company and say, we're going to lose this person unless we make a compelling offer here, you know? And it's like, all right, what's the cost of losing them? Easy business case to make, unless it's that scenario like I talked about a minute ago where it's like, you should take that job. But so that's actually pretty easy. If, however, you're already at the top of your pay, you really put people in a tough spot, and the conversation, just no matter how you approach it, might just not go well. It might just be like, look, I can't create a pay dynamic on your team that puts you stratospherically higher than everyone else. Like, that's just not going to work. And I'm also not going to give 7 raises this week.
Yeah, that's a good point. Your boss is going to think about the precedent it sets and how this fits in with salaries on the team and what kind of budget they have. Not just, will you be happier with more money? Because probably yes, right? Unless it's cursed. Unless it's
cursed money.
I don't know. Yeah, cursed. You'll only spend it on things that'll give you fleeting joy, and then you'll look back and remember when life was simpler and you had less money.
But I was so happy.
Good. Yeah, I was so happy then. But again, like, this is assuming that they say yes to some larger amount of money. They've hopefully been through that. How do you want me to approach a retention discussion? I would expect really strong performance with someone, especially if they were moving from like well paid to super well paid, not from severely underpaid to like solid.
Yeah.
And I think I would make that clear in some way. Of if this isn't a promotion, I would certainly still expect you should be better in your job after this than before to like make me feel like this was worth it.
So you're saying like the employee should bring evidence of why they are performing well? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think what I'm saying is you should expect your boss's expectations might be higher after this.
Yes.
Because in their mind, you're more expensive, right? Like, and if you're performing at the same or a lower level, then they might compare your like value per dollar or whatever made up metric they make up in their head and think like this was fine when they're making X dollars a year, but now X plus Y seems less than fine. I'd expect more.
It's like every line of code is more expensive now than it used to be.
Yeah. If you make your manager look wise and capable and shrewd for advocating for the company to spend more of its money on you and you staying, I think that will go a long way. You want them to feel like it was a good decision, not just that they avoided you leaving and avoided disaster, but like it made things better.
Yeah, that's true. I have another suggestion for how to approach this with your manager, starting with how not to do it. You know, one way is to march into your manager's office, slam down the competing offer on the table, and say, I demand a raise. Like, that's not going to end well. But you could come in and say, look, I love this company. You're a great boss. I love working on this team. There's just one thing that is making it hard for me to stay here, and it's pay. And I just want to be at market rate, you know, because here, I mean, we're saying, look, I'm very low paid, lower than market. I just want to be paid market rate, you know, so that it's not a constant temptation and a worry for me that I'm wasting my time or making financially bad decisions by staying here. So look, I've gone out to the market and gotten some data points, and this is where I think I should be based on how the market responded. Can you meet this offer? Like that's a very different approach, and one that I think tends to be more productive. And it will hopefully set you up so that in the future, your boss doesn't think of you as that kind of person who's just constantly out shopping for counteroffers so that you can, you know, so they can come back and ask for more and more and more.
Yeah, I like that. You're trying to be on their side a little bit.
Yeah, give them all the reasons why it's a proactive thing that you're doing, that they're doing to help you solve a problem rather than just being demanding.
I do want to read part of this question again. I don't want my manager to make my life hell under the pretense of, oh, they'll leave in a year if I do decide to stay after taking the matching offer. So it even sounds like the question asker isn't even sure.
Yeah.
Do they even want to stay?
Wouldn't it be interesting? Like, there are very few statistics in engineering that are solid, but wouldn't it be interesting to see what percentage of people who accept a counteroffer and stay are still employed 1 year later, 2 years later at the same place?
Yeah.
I'll bet it's pretty low. I would bet it's like under 20%.
Yeah, although maybe those numbers will start changing now. It's getting rough out there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I don't know. We probably answered this, right?
Good enough. I think so. Good luck.
Good luck. Dave, will you read our next question?
Yeah, this comes from an anonymous listener who says, I was recently let go from a company. They said they would send me a shipping label so that I could return the hardware. I didn't hear back from them for a week. A few days later, a label came in for the laptop, but not for the dock or the 2 monitors that they also sent. I did not enjoy my experience there, and I'm feeling resentful at having to pester them so that I can get what I need to send them back their hardware. What is my due diligence on the score? I don't even like the monitors. I love it.
Could you pull some kind of hijinks so that the monitors only display everything upside down?
And then send them back?
Yeah, return them. Probably takes a large amount of skill in like the HDMI protocol or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds hard.
Sounds fun.
So I assume this was a large company, large enough that like someone not returning monitors maybe just gets lost in the shuffle. But then you're left. It's like the halting problem, right? Like you never know that they have given up wanting those monitors. You can only tell that they haven't asked you yet. But maybe you just decide I'll chuck them. I'll smash them like that scene in Office Space, the printer or whatever. And then the next day they say about those monitors.
Yep. You know that it happened like the day you get rid of them.
Yeah, it would. I have seen this in action, not the smashing and then the comeuppance afterwards, but the slow grinding wheels of bureaucracy at trying to recover equipment from people.
Yeah.
And at giant megacorps. It just makes me wonder how many dollars are just sitting there like in someone's closet across the world because like some laptop didn't get returned.
So many dollars. It's just they're unextractable dollars. It's like it may as well be ore, like gold ore buried 10,000 feet under the Earth's crust for how distributed it is and how much junk it's sitting under in people's closets.
I think I just need to build some kind of blockchain off of unreturned laptops, and then profit will flow. These are monitors. You could use these. I guess you don't even like them, but you could plug them in and they probably wouldn't phone home.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't. Maybe you could make, disassemble, like take them apart gently so that if called upon, you could put them back together and replace the plastic bezels with some kind of picture frame or something. And just take it as a fun project to build like a digital picture frame for your home. 2 of them.
Yeah, just hang them up.
Yeah, just put them on the wall.
But they're tainted, right? What about every time you look at that smiling picture of you and your pet ferret, you just remember
how much you hate that company.
Yeah, but this is fueled by that evil company that laid me off.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe give them to your enemy on loan. Here. These are great monitors. I promise they won't infect your home with an aura of pain and suffering.
Send them to your enemy and then send your company an email saying, I sent them to person X to return to you.
Yeah.
Follow up with them, please.
Yeah. Talk about passing the buck.
Yeah. Do you remember that? I think it was some kind of art project where they built a friendly little robot and had it hitchhike across North America. It was not like a fully functional autonomous robot. It was just like a little cute little anthropomorphic looking thing that blinked and people would pick it up on the side of the road and drive it somewhere and then drop it off.
I gotta look this up.
And it was trying to show. I'm not going to look it up because I choose to remember it the way I want to, not how it actually happened. But I think it started in Canada, and it had this delightful adventure, and people post all these pictures. And then it made it to like Philadelphia and got smashed to bits pretty quickly. Made it down to the U.S. and did not travel on.
It was called Hitchbot.
Hitchbot, yeah.
So it made it across
Was it
Canada.
Philadelphia?
Yes, it was Philadelphia. So it made it across Canada, no problem.
Yeah.
And then it started in Boston and only made it to Philadelphia. It's like 10%.
I'm really glad that I didn't unfairly besmirch a city and instead correctly remembered the city that curb stomped cute little Hitchbot.
Oh my goodness.
So I think you try something like that. You don't have to return them to the company. You send them to a person who's like one increment closer to that company than you are. And say, pass it on as a social experiment.
Yes. Oh, you just need some way to track progress. But man, that would be great. And if you could find some way to multiply the monitor so that every hand that they pass through, they double in quantity, that'd be awesome. Like a chain letter.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool. A chain monitor.
Add one monitor and ship it to 2 friends you know. And if you don't, you'll be cursed.
You'll be cursed by the potential of bureaucratic revenge.
You're pretty close to cracking a code that I've often wondered about, which is how could you go about sending something to someone and completely conceal your identity as the sender? Like, how many layers would it have to go through, and what would the protocol be for giving something to someone with instructions that makes sure that it would arrive at its destination, but without you being known and without them being able to track it back to you? This seems hard, but this feels like an opportunity to solve that problem.
Yeah. You need the human equivalent of a bunch of VPNs or something. Or not VPNs. Of
like Tor nodes?
No, yeah. Yeah. A bunch of proxies.
And some of them need to have a very, very short memory.
I'm going to assume that the company that you worked for was Kohl's, the clothing store.
Okay.
And you just need to find like someone who has a Kohl's company like card, like a credit card, that they sign up for with the company and send it to them. Like find someone who's one step closer and say, get this to Kohl's, or find someone that can get it closer to Kohl's. It's like those stories where someone starts with a paperclip and ends up with a house. They keep trading.
Bigger and better.
Yeah. Except like through space instead of increasing in value.
Yeah.
Maybe you just ask your mailman, like, hey, can this like hitchhike to your sorting center for a little bit, just for fun?
Yeah.
You don't have to deliver it. Just get it there. And then ask someone else, can you get this closer to Kohl's corporate headquarters?
Yeah. Look, you could take a bummer situation and turn it into a really great YouTube video about this journey.
Probably what you will do is leave them in your closet for all eternity.
Yeah.
I think if you move houses, if you that's when it's safe. They can't follow you to your new place. Then maybe
leave no forwarding address.
I guess we haven't. It's probably telling that we haven't said you could email them again and say, hey, you didn't send me a label for these monitors. Can you do that, please?
It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like,
beyond the pale.
You want to reduce contact with this company down to 0 if possible. And the best way to guarantee no contact is hold on to these monitors, because like you said, the day you destroy or dispose of them, you're going to get an email from this company. So you can shift your mindset here and say, I'm keeping these monitors as insurance that this company will never contact me again.
You could try and get a job at that company again. And then when they go to send you equipment, you say, oh, no, thanks. I'm good.
Or now you have 4 monitors.
Oh, yes. But then you have to return 4 monitors.
Wait, what if you do this cycle as many times as possible and see how many monitors can I get from this company?
I mean, if you do that enough, then you never need to work a day in your life, because you just sell the monitors and then live off that income.
Let me summarize my real answer here. This company is never coming back for those monitors. Don't worry about
it. I think if you want to sleep peacefully at night, you email them a couple more times and say, hey, send me the thing. And then if they don't, I would feel bad about trashing them or giving them away. So I really would just leave them in my closet until the end of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my solution.
the avoidance solution.
Yeah. I feel like if you've tried a few times, it's on them now. It's not your job to like hand deliver the stuff back if you've tried to do their thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You send an email or two and boom. You've done your diligence, and now you essentially own those monitors. We're not lawyers, and monitors are like way too terrestrial for our space law expertise, but I would have no problem hanging on to those things or even trashing them.
Yeah, I think I would never be able to trash them. I think they would just follow me around for a while. But in a way, this would be the company's final revenge on me. They said, we'll give you this equipment. You will feel this forever obligation to return it, and you'll be unable to. Good luck. They'll haunt me.
It is painful. That is painful.
They'll hurt me way worse than I could hurt them in any exit interview.
It's like this is totally a first world problem. I have hundreds of dollars worth of electronic equipment that I don't want.
Yeah.
And I can't get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, now you can. We told you exactly what to do.
Look, send it to us. We'll send you a podcast sticker in exchange. It's a great trade.
Yeah. All right. We will not cover shipping and handling, unfortunately. Well, actually, we will cover it for the sticker.
Oh yeah, we'll pay.
No one
we'll pay
can
that.
say that we're cheap.
No. We will absolutely free shipping on the stickers.
Yes. All right. What can people do if they want their own questions answered?
Go to softskills.audio and click the Ask a Question button. Thank you so much to everyone who submits questions every week. We really appreciate it.
All right. Catch you next week.